Hi friends, happy Monday. Welcome back to the channel. I did not end up getting back on here over the weekend, even though my intention was to come back and do an 8/8 reading with you guys. As you know, it was my birthday. I also took Alice to the vet that morning and we got her looked at. So just a quick little update before we dive into today's message. We took her to the vet and he looked at her ears and, he said, wow, it looks pretty bad just by looking. And if it looks that bad without like looking, I don't know what he said, like with a telescope or something, if it looks that bad just by looking at it, then it's like 10 times worse below the surface. And yeah, so he took her in the back and they did an exam on her and he came back and he said that she had a really bad case of ear mites and that, this had probably been there for quite a while. And oh my gosh, like I felt so bad. I knew something, was wrong with her the last couple days. And then looking back on the message from Lisa, when she mentioned something being wrong with Alice's ear, she's like, I noticed in your videos she was scratching her ear. Has she been diagnosed with ear mites? Or, you might want to get this looked at. That was like May, I want to say it was like May 30th or something. Yeah, so anyways, I felt so bad. My poor baby. I don't even know how long she's had him, if she's had him since I got her, because like I said, she was a stray that my parents found in their neighborhood when she was little, and I ended up taking her home. So I don't know if man, that would be terrible if she's had him since January, but that's when we got her. And then she went and got spayed, and there was a ton of cats in crates when I dropped her off to the place that she got spayed. And I know it's super contagious. I don't know if she caught them from the vet or from the place that I dropped her off to get spayed. I have no idea, or my dog could have brought them in. So anyways, she's had them for a while and they took her in and they flushed her ears out, cleaned them up, put medicine in there, and then they sent me home with medication. So we are treating her at home and I'm supposed to go back, I believe, next week now, because they said 10 days from the day of our appointment. So next week she'll get rechecked to make sure everything is okay. And he said if after the cleaning and treatment that he did and then the at-home treatment, if I bring her back in 10 days and it doesn't look like it's getting any better, then they want to put her under, and I don't know if they said like surgically remove them or surgically clean the ear out. I don't really know what exactly that will look like, but I know it will be an escalated attempt to clean her ears out. So thank you guys for everyone who is sending healing energy and good vibes to our sweet little Alice, and for asking and checking in on how she's doing. I appreciate you guys, and I know she appreciates it as well. She is like doing better in terms of her energy. She's been running around here. She was just up here a minute ago. She might grace us with her presence again. But yes, thank you guys for your concern, and hopefully she's on the mend. Okay, so Friday, yeah, I was gonna come back and do a portal reading. We had the appointment with the vet and I came home and I had like sores in my mouth, which this rarely happens to me. There are a few times I can remember where like, you get like those bumps on your tongue and your mouth just hurts. I don't really know why, and I don't know if it was related to the stress of what was going on with Alice or just, birthday stress and work stress and who knows, right? Just the planets aligning in weird ways, and it could be a multitude of things, but like my mouth just hurt on Friday and I was like thinking about sitting down to do the video, and like just in my spirit, something didn't feel right about doing it. Like I ended up having this spiritual conundrum where like utilizing a portal, like I go back and forth, guys, and to be honest, I'm probably not just autistic and ADHD, but there's probably some sort of bipolar in there somewhere, even though I have not been formally diagnosed with that. But I go back and forth with how I feel about things. Like I know in a recent video I've mentioned to you guys how I've like got super annoyed with the energy of the cards. Like what are these cards going to tell me? Like this is like so stupid what we do here, like flipping cards over, reading energy. Like who really gives a shit? How is this going to fix things in the world? What is the point in knowing about the energy if there's nothing you can do about it? Like sometimes I just get in those moods. And then on Friday, even though I had a great birthday, I had a great day, something about sitting down to utilize a portal energy just felt so, I don't know, guys. It just felt, and maybe this was the Holy Spirit's way of reminding me and checking me to be like, no, there is no portal energy. There is no birthday energy. Like you get your strength, your messages, your discernment, your visions, your gift from the Holy Spirit. And when the Holy Spirit shows up to work with you, that is the energy that you utilize, not a date on a calendar, not a moon cycle, you know. So I don't know. I went through this little thing where I'm like, okay, my cat's sick. I'm taking her to the vet. My mouth hurts. I ended up waking up with these sores in my mouth. And then I just didn't feel the energy of recording. I just had a day where it wasn't the right time. It just didn't feel right. And I have to lean into those feelings and trust that I get them for a reason. But before I dive into today's message, I wanted to say that I picked up the package from the post office from our dear friend Rhonda, and she is a Hive member here. She's always in the comments. I'm sure you guys have seen her or talked to her in some capacity. She's just a beautiful human inside and out. And she sent me a birthday package, and I knew it was coming and I knew it was delivered. And I even told myself, I'm going to go pick it up on my birthday and have that be like just a little gift to myself. So after I got back from the vet with Alice, stopped at the post office, picked up her gift, opened it, and I just wanted to share with you guys how freaking sweet she is. First of all, she gifted me these 2 pocket decks. These little tin decks. Oh, freaking love these. They're just so tiny and adorable. And these are 2 of my absolute favorite decks. You guys know back here, I use my Wild Unknown archetypes all the time. It's one of my absolute favorite decks. And then the Pocket Animal, or the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit, was one of the first decks I ever got. Actually, the Wild Unknown Tarot with the Wild Unknown Animal, I think if I go back to like my first 5 decks I ever owned or ever used as a tool to start learning with, it definitely started with Kim Kranz. I know the Animal Spirit was one of them. The Wild Unknown Tarot was one of them. And then, you know, I have a couple other decks that weren't Kim Kranz. The archetypes I got a little later on in my practice. It wasn't a part of my initial, but the Animal Spirit was the first deck that I ever purchased that actually like spoke to me. Like I would ask questions. It was the first thing that, or the first deck that actually ever like clicked with me in terms of giving me messages and making me believe that there is something there with the energy of the cards and using it as a tool to pull in messages like from within. Like it's really hard to explain, but those of you who know, right? Like it's not just the message of the cards. You have to take it into yourself and process it and read it and then understand the meaning, the message. It just goes deeper than getting a deck of cards, flipping a card over, reading from the book and being like, okay, today Spirit wants me to act like a fish. You know what I mean? It's like, so anyways, I just want to say this was the first deck that I ever sat down, would read on energy about, and then the energy spoke to me in a much higher way. And it started with this deck here, which I have the full size versions of, but I've been looking at these pocket decks forever, and she did not know this because I just love the mini versions. They're just adorable, the little tins. And look at the tiny little books. They're just so little, but they're like literally the full versions of the actual books. Like you don't lose anything in these tiny little versions. I'm just obsessed with these guys, so we're gonna use those today. And then she also sent a bunch more jewelry. So she does jewelry, and I'm going to show you guys because she sent us a ton of bee-themed jewelry this time in our Hive colors. So I'm going to show you just a few of these just to shout out Rhonda and then let you guys know that we will be doing this is like one of my favorite pair right here. Look at the little beads, the little flash of red and yellow. It just like catches the light when they move. Let's see. Yeah, so they have like the red sides. I don't know. I love this pair. So she hand makes these jewelry, and she used our Hive colors. Just a bunch of different variations with the honeycombs, the yellow, the maroon, the bees. She sent bracelets and keychains and tons of these earrings. Just so thoughtful, so sweet. I wanted to share those with you guys and let you know we will be doing a 12 days of Christmas where I have 12 gifts I'm already planning. They have, you know, different variations of size and content. Some will have t-shirts in them, either bee shorts or funny spiritual sayings or holiday shirts like the summoning the holiday spirit shirt. And then I have the bee and moon phase shirts that are going out. We now have the Hive jewelry that Rhonda sent will be going out. I have different crystal sets going out, different sticker packs with different candles and incense and just all kinds of fun stuff I've been putting together for you guys, where I'm going to do 12 different gifts for the 12 days of Christmas. I will choose 12 Hive members to send out something special for the holidays. This is going to go out early November only because some of the themes are holiday themes and I want you guys to be able to get good use out of them. You know, the stickers, the t-shirts, holiday themed decks, whatever it is, I want you to be able to use them and not just get them mid-December and have a couple weeks with them before the holiday season is over. So I do plan to do that beginning of November, where we start picking 12 Hive members to send out 12 days of Christmas. So maybe like November 1st through the 12th, we'll do a winner every day or every other day, something like that. But there are 12 gift baskets I'm putting together, so stay tuned for that. I am hoping we can make it to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So by Christmas, when all these gifts are going out and we're doing a bunch of giveaways, I am just hoping and praying that we can hit 10,000 before the end of the year. That would be the best Christmas present you guys could give back to the channel here, is just subscribing. If you aren't, if you come back and watch the videos or I show up in your feed and you've been here a few times and you haven't subscribed yet, I would greatly appreciate if you guys would hit the subscribe button, like the videos as you view them, or if you hate them, put the thumbs down on it. It still helps. Yeah, I love being here with you guys and appreciate all the love and support. So yes, if you are here and a returning viewer, hit the subscribe and stay tuned for lots of goodies going out from now to the end of the year, and we will try to hit that goal together. We're going to use the 2 mini decks that Rhonda sent. She also sent me this runes book, and I'm trying to say it. I know a couple of you have got on me for saying runes, but it's runes, like tunes, which I asked ChatGPT how to say it, or tricks on how to say it. I love ChatGPT. I've been obsessed lately, just learning on different ways you can use that app, and it's amazing. Highly suggest it. Not sponsored, obviously, but so I was asking for tricks and tips on how to say things correctly, and it said it's like tunes, like cartoons, but runes. So I tried to, like, before I say it, I'm like runes. I don't know. So anyways, she sent me this book that has all of the, what is this, Norse? I don't know, what are these called? Viking runes? Sorry. I may slip up, guys. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody's culture. I will do my best to say it, but sometimes, are these Viking runes? Anyways, very cool book because sweet Melissa sent these to the channel, and I got a cute little bucket for them. But yeah, I have them in here. The amethyst stone runes. And I didn't have a book, so I have to stop and Google. Anyways, I know this is getting long, but now I have a book for them, so we're also going to pull some of those out just because I haven't used them in a while. Today we're actually doing more of like a global check-in. If any energies stick out to me around a certain case where I can read it 2 ways, I'm going to try to, because I was going back and forth on which case to read on today. Like, I still can't get this whole Amy Bradley thing out of the forefront of my mind, and maybe because it's so much in the media right now, but I feel like while the public's attention is on her case, it's a good time to keep digging into that energy, and then we can keep bouncing back and forth to the other cases. But it feels like the time is right to dig into that energy because it's been so long and it is so prevalent in the media right now. So I kept getting the fish card, which is why I think I said that earlier, like talking about the fish, because the fish kept showing itself to me in this deck. And then when I pulled out the mini archetypes and I was just shuffling them, the storm card fell out on my lap, and I went to grab it and it hit the ground. I picked it up, I shuffled it back in, I set the deck down, it was on the bottom. So I've seen the fish card a couple times here, I've seen storm card here, and then I was hearing like monsoon. I don't even really know what a monsoon is. It sounds like something to do with water, or I don't know where like monsoons happen. Guys, I'm in California, we have great weather where I'm at, and I don't have like hurricanes and twisters and monsoons, and yeah, I don't live in a world where we have those types of storms happening around me. So I don't know why I was hearing that in my head. So we'll have to look into what a monsoon is and where that could be happening, and then see what other symbols come out. But it felt like, oh, and then in the B deck I was shuffling, I split it on the Tower. Shoot, I'm not remembering. The Tower and Temperance, maybe? I don't know. Shoot, I'm not remembering, but when I first picked the deck up and split it, I was like, ooh, even that's giving like storm, a catastrophic event type of energy. And I often get these. If you guys have been around for a while, you know I go back and forth from like true crime cases back to like this storm energy or global prophecy or things going on around the world that is going to cause some sort of like massive chain reaction type of event. And from everything that's happened in the news so far, I don't feel like any of the storms or any of the events that have happened have necessarily touched the energy that I keep seeing in my global prophecies in terms of like prophetic visions around a major storm, a major volcanic eruption, people being trapped. Like, this is going to affect crops and an entire country and alliances and aid, and it's going to be on like the hundreds of thousands of people scale. This isn't anything that we've already seen in the media. So again, with that storm energy showing itself to me again, it's come through with the spirit kids when John Bonet brought the spirit kids forth with a storm warning. The storm warning came through again when touching on Lily and Jack. Summer, we get a lot of global energies that poke through in different ways there. Sebastian, a lot of his energy also touched on hurricanes and natural disaster in terms of like Tennessee scale. But overall, there's like this underlying energy within my readings of this storm that I feel like the Holy Spirit has placed on my heart because something is coming. I can't say when, I don't know why, I don't know where, but it's very prevalent in what I'm doing here in terms of my abilities and where I'm at on my journey. So just so you guys know, we will probably be going back and forth between these true crimes back to this storm prophecy just to try to dial it in. It could be multiple, could be different areas, but it is something that is very much within my energy field in terms of a message I need to get out for whatever reason. If a storm message isn't prevalent or it looks like it could be a dual message, like I said, I will try to read it that way to see if there's any intruding energies from any cases that are open right now that I could also pull messages from. So I will leave that as an option as well. We're just gonna dive in now, guys. I know that was a long intro, but most of you guys don't mind, so thank you for sticking these out with me. Again, this is something you can expect on the channel. Look at that. Look what just flipped out. I am not kidding. I'm so not kidding with you guys when I tell you there's something going on today with a message about a storm. The bottom is the mirror. Okay, that's giving Sebastian. The mirror being prevalent in his energy. The vessel. We've been looking for Sebastian's vessel and mirror. Alethea with the fault line. The one, the mirror, the vessel. But storm literally just flipped out as I was shuffling this with you guys. I don't even remember what I was saying before that, to be honest. Oh, the long introductions. You guys can fast forward because you can just expect that here if that's something you guys don't want to listen to. Please don't comment about it. It's kind of annoying by now, and I'm just going to be blocking those people who don't like the long introductions. You can skip ahead, but just fair warning, if you feel the need to publicly complain about it, I'm just going to remove you from the channel because I just kind of tired of hearing about the long introductions. So we have the storm, the stingray. I'm going to get one more here, and then we'll pull 2 oracle energies for the stands up there, and then we'll just see where we're going with this storm today. I can't believe that one was the first card that flipped out when I was just telling you guys it was the, ooh, and the shark. Okay, now we're talking about ocean storms. And monsoon, okay, the B is at the bottom. The shark. And so both of these triangles obviously are pointing down for water, like underwater. Storm in the ocean, underwater. And I was telling you guys, I kept getting the fish in this deck with the storm card here. So again, we have the same energy here. Ocean animals. There's tons of different animals in this deck, guys. The opening message, I was telling you storm and fish, and now we have stingray, shark, and the storm again. What did we have at the bottom here? Did I even look? Oh, well, now it was the comment. It was the mirror. The mirror. Interesting. Interesting. definitely some sort of coastal type of energy, ocean energy. I don't know why I was hearing monsoon. I'm hearing it in like an accent in my head, but I don't know what accent this is. It's just not like, it's definitely not Californian, maybe not even American. Oh no. Wow, 129. Butterfly 129, that's the day that John O'Keefe died. And today is the 11th. This date on the clock says Friday the 11th. This is 129, but this is Evil Eye, which says protection. Protection here from endings. The skull, this is like the death card. Protection and endings, a storm, and then metamorphosis. Oh my god, water was under that. Metamorphosis, which is another energy of like death and rebirth, renewal. Water. Water, metamorphosis, protection, endings, storm. I'm wondering also, aside from the storm message I'm going to pull, if John O'Keefe is wanting to come in and talk about Sebastian. Oh, we'll never take 129 as a random sign ever again. It's the way that John and I have so deeply connected. I feel like when his energy comes through and it's as obvious as that, it's almost his way of saying like, hey, I maybe have some information for you, but he's very humble and gentle in his approach. So it would be something as gentle as flipping out the date for me to be aware of his presence. And then the energy that first came out with the mirror and the storm was Sebastian energy. So maybe at the end of this reading, we will channel John in and get a quick spread for Sebastian. That's interesting. Okay, well, the Evil Eye and the skull. I'm going to read the animals. Okay, so shark could mean exposure, revealing someone's true nature and desire. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. Oh, when we don't acknowledge the storm is when it's dangerous. Wow. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Oh my god, the underground volcano I've been talking about forever. There's, oh shit, okay, or did I say underground? Underwater. The submarine volcano. There's something lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over when we are hesitant to be honest, or to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending that nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its pressure encircling us. Oh, I read that as pressure and its presence. Oh shit. We feel its presence encircling us. Like not speaking on something, not talking about something, not being honest about the situation of something, or something being hidden that we're not aware of that's literally encircling and building pressure. I read it as pressure. Gosh dang it, I hate when the AC kicks on like that. The window in my office is right next to the outdoor cooling system, so when it kicks on, it gets really loud by this window. I'm sorry, guys. I have my AC set to 82, so that means it's pretty damn hot already. If this morning it's already kicking on, that means it's hotter than 82 degrees in my house right now. Anyways, when this card is out of balance, it's sneaky and destructive. Sneaky and destructive storm that's lurking in the depths. And I was called to read shark first, so let's go back to stingray and see what that says. Developing confidence, a sense of self, or a spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old and the new, the easy and the comfortable and familiar, or the challenging, uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that the dilemma will surface again and again, as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. The force growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. So this talks about a decision between the old and the new. Pressure from family and friends making a decision complicated. Maybe a decision from like people who know there's a danger or a risk or a potential storm brewing that they're choosing not to talk about because of pressure from I don't know, people in that area, or like government, or it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. It's too strong to ignore. This is encircling us. It can be destructive when ignored. Something brewing in the depths. The chaos of the whirlwind. The Go Deeper part of the storm says the tornado scene in The Wizard of Oz and Rilker's The Man Watching. It is the result of precarious conditions, not the cause of them. Processing an energy much like the Tarot's Tower card, which we've seen in the B Tarot. The storm undoes all that is. Everything that was solid, known, and relied upon is stripped away by the winds of fate. The ground becomes the sky becomes the center, and the center disappears. The storm is the great equalizer. No matter how far we've come on the path, no matter our age, wealth, or wisdom, we can't hide from its savage winds. The disturbing howls stir anxiety and make it impossible to see and think straight. You must wait it out. If you try to fight the storm, you will lose. A better option is to seek temporary shelter and a reliable friend. When all else fails, go within. For a moment, you settle in the eye of the storm. Oh shit. In many cultures, the evil eye is a symbol of protection against misfortune that others may wish upon you. It deflects envy, brings good luck, and protects you from any ill will that could otherwise have a negative effect on your well-being. This card is a sign of not only protection, but empowerment. When you take the steps to protect yourself, mentally, physically, and spiritually, there is no reason to fear. This can also speak to being in the public eye or receiving increased attention, indicating there is a need to be aware of your surroundings. Wow. Being in the public eye, receiving increased attention, and a need to be aware of your surroundings. You may see the evil eye show up in many ways, such as an emoji, a charm, or a sticker on a laptop. It also is confirmation that you are and will be protected. The aloe vera plant illustrates alongside the evil eye sticker, further emphasizing the spiritual representation of protection and good luck. The beauty of this symbol is that you can easily incorporate it into your life whenever you feel necessary. Let's read skulls. The skull appears when endings are at hand. It is a powerful symbol of mortality, but this card also symbolizes the circle of life, both endings and how those endings birth new beginnings. You could be experiencing the end of a relationship, job, or phase of your life. It is imperative that you give yourself space to grieve this ending. Allow the time and space to accept it and process your emotions, whether it is welcome and has been a long time coming or is sudden and unexpected. Change is often uncomfortable, but this symbol is urging you to look at endings with a different perspective. The plant pictured growing from the skull vase on the card symbolizes the growth that can occur after an ending. Oh, like new vegetation, new plant life. Endings act as fertile ground for whatever you decide to plant next. Give yourself grace as you experience these transitions and prepare for a fresh start. Mourning and grief, letting go, difficulties, accepting things that you cannot change. Wow. Endings that act as fertile ground. That does happen after storms usually, right? Like after volcano eruptions and wildfires, it's like you get this fertile, rich ground after major storms. That's so interesting. Protection. Looking at the bright side, like trying to look at the upside of this storm and the damage that can be done in terms of, but if this is underwater, what type of, I mean, all of that fertile ground has to happen on land. So this must be a storm that starts deep within the sea, affects land. So it has to be like a coastal town where the energy of something happening like just off the shore, under the water, that affects people in a country or in an area on land, whether this be, I don't know what a monsoon is. Let's look at what a monsoon is, and then possibly like flooding, or why am I drawing a blank on? Oh my gosh, what is that? Like a, that just totally left my brain. You guys know what I'm talking about, when an earthquake happens or the shift in the seafloor and then the tidal wave comes, it's like causes a flood. What is that freaking called? Why am I losing my mind today? I don't know. Back to ChatGPT. A tsunami. Yeah, I had to ask it. I'm like, what is that term for a big wave that causes flooding? A tsunami. Hello. Okay, it also says it could also be a storm surge, which is caused by strong winds and low pressure from hurricanes, typhoons, cyclones, or pushing seawater onto land. This flooding is often the deadliest part of a tropical storm. So a tsunami is a single wall of water from an earthquake, and then a storm surge. Okay, so let's see which one of these. What is a monsoon? A monsoon is a seasonal change in wind direction that brings a big shift in weather, usually alternating between a wet season with heavy rains and a dry season. A summer monsoon, land heats faster than the ocean, the warm air rises over land, moist ocean air moves in, heavy, often daily rains. Winter monsoon, the land cools faster than the ocean, winds blow from land to sea, causing dry weather. A famous example, the South Asian monsoon, which brings months of rain to India, Bangladesh, and nearby countries from June to September. Basically, it's Earth's version of turning the rain switch on and off once a year. So that does talk about ocean water and the way it interacts with land. All right, let's get a spread out here to see if we can, maybe tropical storms or storm surges or tsunamis, maybe something triggered by something going on deep within the water or affecting the sea animals, the sea life. I'm almost seeing like maybe after an event, like where you see all the fish and like the stuff on shore, like stingrays, sharks, whales, otters, whoever like washed up on shore. Like I'm seeing that also. All right, let's grab the Wild Unknown Tarot and see what other information we can pull here. Holy Spirit, what is this storm warning? Why are we back in the energy of a storm? Oh, that one kind of shot out. The Eight of Pentacles. This is giving visually like a ripple effect. Like this, the center of the web, and then the vibrations that go out. Because that's how spiders hunt, right? It's the vibrations through the web. And that's what I'm seeing this as, like fractaling out. Is that a term? Fractaling out? Vibrating out? Like, oh, even in the ocean, like, okay. When there's like a center spot in the ocean and then it like ripples out, almost like I'm seeing it like a circle, like a spot, and then it affects, like instead of a wave, I don't even know if this is how it always happens, but like instead of a wave going in one direction, it's like almost like the ocean floor pushes out water in a circular way where maybe it would have hit multiple coasts. Is that always how it happens? Fractaling out, vibrating out. Fractaling out usually means something is branching, repeating, or expanding in a self-similar pattern. A self-similar pattern. Each new part looking like a smaller version of the bigger pattern, repeating at different scales, potentially endless in detail. You could keep zooming in forever in theory. That would make sense here. It's used both literally, a design fractaling out on screen, and metaphorically, a conversation fractaling out into countless side topics. Oh. Yes, in oceans. So, in oceans, fractaling out can happen in a few beautiful and powerful ways. Nature loves repeating, branching patterns, even underwater. Coastlines and shorelines. If you trace a coastline on a map, you'll notice bays, inlets, and peninsulas repeating at different scales. Big curves have smaller curves within them, and those have even smaller ones. This is why measuring the length of a coastline can be tricky. The closer you zoom in, the more details you can see. Coral reefs, wave interference patterns, plankton, river deltas flowing into the sea. When waves cross paths, the overlapping ripples can create repeating nested wave shapes, a kind of fractal interference grid. It can happen near reefs, islands, or in tidal zones. Okay, well today I guess we are taking a course on islands and tidal zones. This is also giving me energy with Amy as well. A tidal zone is a strip of coastline that's underwater at high tide but exposed at low tide. It's basically the in-between world where the ocean meets the land and its boundaries shift with the tides. Okay, so now there we have underwater meeting the land. In high tide, the ocean covers that zone completely. In low tide, the water recedes, exposing rock, sand, and mud flats. The height and reach of this zone depend on the tide range in that location. It's one of the most extreme environments on the earth. Creatures here must survive pounding waves, drying out, and big temperature changes. Again, with that monsoon and temperature changes, home to barnacles, mussels, crabs, sea stars, sea anemones, tidal fish, tidal zones, tidal fish. If you want, I can show you how tidal zones can look fractal from above because of the way rocks, pools, and algae patterns repeat. That ties right back to your fractaling out question. Yes. Lots of people are creating images right now, so this might take a bit. We'll notify you when your image is ready. Oh. Okay, well, this might take a minute. So let's get a few more cards out here to see. Interesting. I'm gonna put this over here. tidal zone. After we pull a quick spread for this energy, I'll ask for specific energy on where this could be happening. So we have the Magician, the Nine of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Two of Swords. But this is where I feel the energy calling me, because here we have this same like black center, and then we have that like circling out, but there's something like crossing now. I'm seeing this as the center and the fractaling out, or the like moving out in a circle, but then it crosses something, and either something gets blocked or it causes intersecting points like blocks. There's the Death card. Blocking. With that Nine of Swords and the Six of Cups there with the Magician, it's almost like this has happened in this area before. It's a painful memory of a nightmare that's happened in the area before. Maybe not in our lifetimes. Maybe this is the Earth's way of remembering when this happened before, and it causes the Earth sorrow. But it's like a necessary... it's a necessary... There's that same energy again. With whatever this is. It's a necessary rebalancing though. That looks like the top of a volcano. It's happened before. This is not the first time it's happened in this area. And I feel like it's happened before on the same type of scale. Okay, now we're seeing... Interesting. Look at that same type of symbolism there. But this almost looks like the cracking of fault lines as it emerges from the center and spirals outwards. It's like a cracking. The fractaling also, like the more than just going out, it branches off, like Eight of Pentacles, Death card, the Sun, and the Ace of Pentacles. It's giving me like the Earth is doing what it's supposed to do. It's working as intended. This is the natural order of things. It's happened before. It will happen again. It's going to happen, I feel, in my lifetime. I don't know why this would be coming through so strongly for me if this was not something that's happening in my lifetime. But it feels like it's the natural order of things. It's supposed to happen. It's happened in this area before. It's working as intended. Something happens, something becomes, I'm hearing like impacted, or you know, it's weird, but I'm getting like the energy of like an abscess or something. It's like it gets impacted, the pressure builds up, and then you have to release it, and it hurts, but then you heal and you feel better. It's like the natural order of things, the death needs to occur because it's time. But the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles is the gift that is birthed from that renewal, the fertile land, the things that will grow in this area, or the future lives that will be lived here after a lot of death. And I know that sounds terrible, but this is supposed to happen in this area, and it's cyclical. I feel like it may be every 400 years. It may be something we haven't ever documented in history books or aren't aware of, but it is something that has happened before on a large scale like this. And it feels like there are things that will die in this process, whether this is land, the economy, the people. There's some sort of ending of one way of being that's then renewed much into the future, but much needed. I'm gonna get a clarifier for the Eight of Pentacles with the Death, and then the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles, and then we'll ask where this could be happening. Okay, so Daughter of Cups is here, and Son of Cups, the World with Justice. There's that mirroring energy. And then the Four of Swords, healing, rest and renewal. Justice, it's a necessary balancing of good and bad, death and new life. It is the cycle of life. But it's going to be tough to rebuild. And then we have the Page of Cups, like starting completely over. This is like the new life that emerges from this. After the death, when the sun comes out and things start to grow again, it produces new life. The rainbow, the gift after the storm, the new life. Daughter of Pentacles in land and sea. New life emerging on land and sea after what's been taken. The gift after death. Can I get one clarifier? Okay, for Eight of Pentacles and the Death card. Page of Swords now. So we've just seen 3 pages. Three of Swords at the bottom. I was like, I hope this doesn't mean the energy of what I was feeling with like this affecting women and children. I don't know, that keeps coming through with some major storm event or some global event. And then with the three daughters coming through was giving me heavy children energy. And then that Three of Swords, but that's also giving me like child slave labor in terms of where this could be. People that actually use children for labor. And like almost like cleansing a space where evil has taken up residency. Cleansing a space, like wherever evil's going on, possibly with children, whether this is an island for trafficking or a place where they're using child labor, or there's something about children working, and that could be so many things. And almost like the earth just cleansing that area, starting over. You get one for the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles, which is like a big, beautiful gift. That is the life after death. That's the sucker after you get a shot at the doctor's office when you're little. It's like, here, I'm sorry we had to do this, but here's your shiny new toy type of thing. The Hermit. The Shell is the shelter. Temperance. Shelter. Taking a shelter. Fire and water. Fire and water. Again, we have fire and water with Temperance. Here I was seeing that energy of like the fractaling out in the water, and this I said looked like the top of a volcano. So again, fire and water. This is like sheltering. The shell, it looks like it's fractaling. It's different patterns mirroring each other in different sizes. Breaking apart. You see red in the center here. The Hermit and the Sun both talk about things being exposed. The Eye of the Storm being exposed. This is giving me Eye of the Storm. Exposing the Eye of the Storm, maybe pinpointing a danger lurking below, pinpointing it. It's like it's mirroring something that's happened in the past. It's repeating cycles. Somebody's noticing a pattern. Somebody's noticing a pattern in a tidal zone affecting land and water. Maybe they're being suppressed. Maybe they're not allowed to go public with this information. Because the Page of Swords is also the researcher, the student, finding information, looking into things, researching. Finding something out that they're not allowed to come forward about, which is also another repeating message that I get. Locating the Eye of the Storm, they're looking at, they're seeing patterns. They're seeing patterns of something that's happened in the past. Can you tell me where this could be happening, or if you want to pinpoint a location possibly, or any other energies around this storm that's lurking below, or why we're reading on this today? Even with the 11 I'm seeing on that 129 card is a mirroring energy. The energy of what the heck was that? I don't know why that just made my heart start pounding. Assuming that's Alice, but I don't know what that sound was. I don't know if you guys were able to hear it. That's the energy of 1. We have the 11 there. 2 and 9 makes the energy of 11. Today is the 11th. Today's the 11th. We have the mirror, which is mirroring numbers. What does that mean? Maybe November, or could this be November? Can you give us more information if you want us to know more about this energy, or a location, or a timing? Timing could be. Oh, this evil eye is also giving me that same energy of the center and then like the rippling out. What is that called? We're gonna have to look that up really quick. When the water ripples out in a circle from something in the ocean. I don't know, Spirit, what else do you want us to know about this energy? Ooh. Four of Pentacles. Stocking up on resources, like having 8 of Pentacles. With the 8 of Pentacles, putting money aside. And look at, she's filling up jars of sugar, milk, I don't know what she's filling up. Like stocking up on food, resources, money, having money to save, or putting your money into food, or okay. It's giving me like doomsday prepping energy, having a supply of food on hand, keeping a supply of food. Stocking up on food. 2 of Swords, because you're not going to have access to food. You're not going to have access to resources. You're going to be blocked from shopping, or you're going to be unable to get to a store or to travel. Something about having enough to shelter in place. Having enough within your shell. Stocking up on food because you're going to be blocked. Resources are going to be blocked, which again is that same energy I've gotten in multiple prophetic readings on this storm energy. Like Nine of Wands. Ace of Wands is on the floor with Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, and now Nine of Wands. This is a damaged hive. There's smoke coming out of it. This person is defeated, wounded, hurt, struggling. There's going to be damage and a lack of resources. So there's an energy here of like stocking up on food. Can I get one more? I'm hearing staying put. Staying put. Like don't try to leave. It's a Queen of Pentacles. Staying put. Either you're forced to stay put, you're not going to be able to leave, or the advice is not to try to flee, to shelter in place, to ride out the storm, have enough to sustain, but not to flee. But who? Who is this message for? Ace of Swords. The Truth. A truth in terms of saving and stocking up. Like, fact. Yes, do that. 100% the message there. Let's do Eight of Pentacles with Two of Swords. Four of Jars. This guy's also filling up jars, filling up water even. Like nobody's coming to save you type of energy with this Two of Swords and blocking resources. This person is like dreaming of this big golden pot of honey, like maybe thinking of all the things you need, but you're having to refill your own cup with the resources you've stocked or saved or have on hand. Two of Wands. Yeah, didn't I just say like nobody's coming to save you? This person's waiting for somebody to come in with resources, but they're not. Nobody's coming in to help you. This is a blocked energy, and somebody's hive who's on fire, he looks defeated, and like nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to save you. Let me get one more. I might do a double post today, guys, so I'm actually going to finish this storm energy up, and then I will actually do a separate reading channeling John O'Keefe, because with the 129 came out, and we did get energy around Sebastian, that storm with the mirror, and look at King of Jars just flips over. I do feel like he has a message for us. The Lovers, the Moon, and the Page of Cups again. Yeah, so guys, stay tuned. Check out the second video today. If not, tomorrow morning it'll be posted for sure, of me channeling John O'Keefe to see if he has messages about Amy or Sebastian, but it's feeling more like Sebastian here. Nine of Swords with Three of Cups for this energy here about the storm, which is nightmares and anxiety, fears, being scared about your community, fears around your community, your social circles, your neighbors, your friends, combining resources. Like don't find yourself in a position where you have to rely on your community for resources, because nobody's coming to help you. There's an energy here. Let's see what's on the bottom. King of Wands. There's an energy here of like nobody's coming to help you and to stock up on resources and then to shelter in place with your resources, like not to flee. But when this energy starts to make itself known, whatever area this is going to reveal itself. God, I don't want to give that advice in the energy of like the message is to flee that area, but in the energy today for I don't know where this is exactly, and I'm going to pull a couple cards here also to find out maybe where this is. But it's like there's also this energy of like where you think you should flee. It's like if you've stocked up resources and food, canned food, bottles of water, whatever you need within your home, it's like shelter in the place where your resources are, because there isn't going to be a way for people to get resources to you in the immediate aftermath of the storm. And so having supplies on hand probably would be good for all of us. I'm not this big doomsday prepper, and I don't, you know, go as far as to say you need an underground bunker with enough supplies to last a year. I don't know. If I had the money to do it, of course I would, because why not, you know? But I'm not saying to that extreme, but like definitely having a plan and backstock. Whether you live in a 1-bedroom apartment and you just have a tote. That's so funny, but in my mind I just seen a tote next to a couch that you use as like a, what do you call I wanted to say nightstand, but it's like an end table. I don't know why I can't think of words today, guys, but it's like somebody's using it to like set their cup on, and it's just sitting next to this small couch in this small apartment, but underneath this tote is filled with canned foods. Like, so I don't know if you have to utilize space to like use your furniture as storage for food, if that's literally what you're doing and I'm talking to one of you, or if that's a message if you're thinking I don't even have enough space, I don't have a pantry, like I don't have a bunker, I don't even have enough room to put a box of food. It's like you can if you use it as your couch or your nightstand or whatever. There's just this need of maybe even this area that this happens, there's like small spaces that people occupy. Like I know China has really tiny living quarters. Well, I don't know, I've never been there, I've only seen, so I can't say that. But like places around the world that are coastal that have really tiny living spaces. San Francisco, for example. Possibly New York. East Coast energy. I don't know, I'm seeing like small living spaces. All right, let me get a couple more cards here. I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Spirit, can you just give me a couple ending cards for final messages around this energy? 5 of Swords. Like you don't stand a chance against this energy, not to fight it. There's no point in fighting this energy. You can't fight it, you can't stop it. It is the natural order of the earth, but it does cause a lot of, it's definitely the energy of that unfair fight. It's much bigger than any human can try to prevent. And it's coming regardless, but there's like forewarning of it. Maybe not a lot of warning, but energy of there being some warning. Again with the King of Wands energy. King of Wands. Father of Cups. So we've seen King of Cups and King of Wands already in this energy. That's fire and water. That's cups. Cups and wands is fire. The moon, the Empress. Again with the 9 of Swords, Son of Swords, 7 of Cups, confusion, Daughter of Wands. Traveling in the dark, not being able to see, being scared, wanting to flee, not knowing what you should do. The Hangman, but feeling stuck, not knowing if you should stay or go. Water and fire again with something that's out of your control. Causes a lot of damage. The Lovers, fire and water. The two become one. A decision. A choice. Ooh, the Hierophant, a choice. Ooh. Ace of Swords. This is like the government laying down the law. This is like a choice that comes from like the rulers, or maybe they're forcing you to stay. They don't let you leave. Like you couldn't leave if you wanted to. This to me feels like an institution or a governing body that is enforcing the sword. They hold the key. They're not letting people out. And this could be like a bordering country where two countries border each other, because I'm seeing two different rulers here and a battle between two rulers in terms of like a power struggle and a decision not to let their people leave, either to intersect borders, or a bordering country will not let other people into their country because of this battle between two leaders. So in the event of a world event, now I'm seeing this as like two leaders who are at conflict, and if people in a natural disaster need to flee, they're like, you're not coming through our border. Like, I'm sorry, you need to go, and that you're in the eye of the storm, so to say, and this is going to affect a lot of your people, but you're not passing through here. Like, you're blocked. There's that Two of Swords that comes through. Like, you need to have resources because this bordering country or person is going to prevent. Look at that. I picked it up on the Mother of Cups, but then the Tower. They're like preventing aid from going through, or preventing ships to go through, or they're preventing people to flee to safety. Like, if they can't get out any further to like an allied place, the person next to them is an enemy, and they're preventing, either they're preventing their people from leaving, or they're preventing the affected country or area to come over. Can I get one more card on the outcome of this? Feeling like a blocking of the borders even in the event of major catastrophe. Can you give me an outcome card for this energy? A final outcome. Chariot. Somebody comes in. Somebody comes out of nowhere. Seven of Cups. Somebody comes in to offer aid or to help out of nowhere. The Chariot is triumph, victory, success over your enemy who's preventing you from leaving, blocking borders, or refusing aid. There is a savior. There is somebody that comes rushing in to help in some way. We're gonna have to keep pulling on this energy, guys. I feel like the message keeps repeating, and I'll take some of the symbolism here and try to plug it into different areas to see if I can pull up where this could be happening in terms of geographically. But the Chariot being a final outcome, especially between the Hierophant and the Ace of Swords, feels really hopeful. But I'm just noticing here, as I'm sitting here getting ready to wrap this reading up, we had that Eight of Pentacles come out first with the spider in the center, and I was seeing that expanding out or fractaling type of energy. And then I'm seeing the B card here, and again, that same type of energy with like the Eye of the Storm or the center, and then that rippling out. I don't know why, I just keep seeing it like opening up and rippling out. But then bees and spiders both operate in the energy of vibration. I guess we all do, but one is like, one operates in the vibrations in the daylight, and then the spiders at night. I feel like the spiders are nocturnal and they go off the vibrations of the night, and then the bees use the light to navigate, but they also communicate with vibrations in the sun. So it's like the sun versus the moon in terms of, I guess that is kind of the energy of water and fire. Oh, I wanted to look up really quickly. Oh my gosh, I know this reading is getting long, and I still don't have a picture. Image created. Oh, I do have an image. Oh, wow. Look at that. Interesting. So what is this? This is, I can show you how a tidal zone can look fractal from above because of the way the rocks, the pools, and the algae patterns repeat. This ties back to your fractaling out question in terms of a tidal zone. Interesting. Okay, hang on. I'm going to ask about water ripples out in the ocean in a perfect circle. I don't really know how to ask these questions, but when water ripples out in a perfect circle in the ocean, it's usually called a radial wave or circular wave. The energy moves outward equally in all directions from a single disturbance, like a splash, a dropped object, or an underwater burst, forming concentric rings. In physics, it's a wavefront with radial symmetry. If it's from a strong impact, like an explosion or meteorite, scientists might call it a circular wave train. In calm conditions, these rings can stay nearly perfect, almost like the ocean is drawing geometry on its surface. Oh, like a meteorite? Holy shit, or an underwater explosion. So that could be something falling from the sky or coming up and exploding. If you want, I can explain how the circle stays so precise even on a moving ocean. When is the last time something like this happened? So there hasn't been any widely reported ocean-scale events of perfectly circular waves rippling recently. Most occurrences of such patterns are small-scale and short-lived. Think of a pebble dropped into a calm water, creating neat rings or waves radiating from a splash near shore. Here's why larger, more visible circular ocean waves are uncommon. In short, unless it's a small, controlled splash in a very still water, you're unlikely to catch a perfect circular ripple across the ocean. Want to explore notable instances where larger scale circular waves were documented, like atmospheric gravity waves or volcanic tsunami rings? Holy shit. Okay, yes. Volcanic tsunami rings. Wow, okay. That feels... Here's a stunning snapshot from satellite showing circular atmospheric gravity waves radiating outward from the massive Ha'apai volcano eruption in January 2022. January, and then the mirroring numbers, 2022. You can see the concentric ripples spreading across the atmosphere like ripples on a pond. The underwater eruption triggered atmospheric gravity waves, ring-shaped pressure waves that traveled across the globe at nearly the speed of sound. In 1883, eruption of Krakatoa generated massive tsunamis with wave heights reaching 45 meters on nearby shores. Although tsunamis radiate outwards from such events, their wave fronts are less visually perfect circles, but still expand radially from the source. Oh, Krakatoa. That was a massive eruption. Although tsunamis radiate outwards, in rare localized settings, underwater topography near circular islands can resonate with incoming waves, intensifying them through repeated reinforcement and creating near circle wave patterns around circular islands. Could this be a circular island, or they're talking about a volcanic eruption causing volcanic tsunami rings? Explore how scientists detect these patterns using satellites and sensors. All right, well, I'm gonna pull a final oracle card from the Oracle of the Seven Energies, and then again, like I said, stay tuned for me channeling John O'Keefe. I know a lot of you guys probably would like me to channel John again, and it's feeling like his energy is trying to come through and make its presence known, so please tune into that video. Final oracle. That's two, but we'll look at them in case they repeat. A burst of magic Ooh, seeing beyond. This is the third eye. Getting a glimpse of the burst before it happens. This is giving me like a prophetic vision of a burst of magic. There's going to be some type of explosion, guys. I don't know if this is an underground volcano, an submarine missile that goes off that acts like a volcano, or a meteorite, or something fire and water affecting the ocean, tsunamis, radio waves, fractaling, mirroring, countries again, smoke and mirrors. There's that mirrors again. This could be some sort of deceptive type of energy again, like that energy I get where it looks like it could be a natural disaster, where it appears to be a submarine volcano, but it was actually a missile that goes off underwater or something like that. And then again, neighboring countries that are enemies. Final card. Body and soul. Card 5. I'll let you guys see this up close. These are looking like honeycomb patterns behind the actual image. Okay, card 5. The key concepts are taking care of yourself. Extreme self-care is called for when you receive this card. I feel like before I read on about self-care and taking care of yourself, it feels more like taking care of yourself in terms of the energy of like nobody's coming to save you type of energy. You're not going to be let out. They're not bringing you resources immediately. Taking care of yourself in terms of having resources stocked up, having some sort of stockpile until this chariot comes in. It looks like eventually somebody does ride in on that chariot to be the knight in shining armor, but it could be days, weeks, months before that happens, and to have a supply for yourself. Taking care of yourself, prioritizing self-care. Answer truthfully, are you taking care of yourself? Your first choice may be to care for others before meeting your own needs. Check in with yourself. Are you experiencing halt, hunger, anger, loneliness, and tiredness? Hunger, anger, loneliness, and tiredness. This card is a signal that it's time to take a break from your current focus and get busy taking care of you, because you are worthy of this care. What simple things require your attention so you can function optimally in your world and live your best life a day at a time? Another message that this card holds is about how you live with authenticity. Can you be at ease within yourself? You doing you with pride and self-worth? Remember, you are a soul that manifests through a body, a spiritual being having a human experience, and that means that you are here on purpose, even if there are days when you wonder about that. There is an intentionality to your being here, just the way that you are, in this time, in our collective story. You being here is important, for you are a precious being with a purpose, even if it seems elusive some days. Just know that life loves you. With that in mind, your job is to do your part to make your experience a healthy one. How you nourish your body, your mind, and soul is directly related to how you experience this life. It's time to put yourself first, then everything else will fall beautifully into place. It talks about physical health, taking care of yourself, meeting your needs first, and then literally talks about hunger, anger, loneliness, tiredness, and a need to be self-sufficient. So I, again, don't know where this is happening, guys, or why we went back to this storm energy again, but I am positive it will begin to unfold. The pieces will come together. We'll start to hear little trickles of this in the media. Eventually, this will come to light when the earth exposes this type of energy. But again, like I said, it must be important why we're reading on it in different random times that it comes to me. So again, I am just following the call to do the reading, and of course, I'm always open to your guys' interpretation. If you hear anything in the media about anything that sounds like this, or have your own opinions on where this could be happening or when this could be happening, I would love to hear from you guys. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, say hello, share the video with your friends, all those things, and then stay tuned for me, channeling John O'Keefe for Sebastian Rogers. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.